The Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee will please come to order. Today we're having a hearing on how we can strengthen people's finances and improve their retirement security. I will have an opening statement, and then we will introduce our witnesses. After the witnesses give their testimony, senators will each have 5 minutes for a round of questions. We are again unable to have the hearing fully open to the public or media for in-person attendance today. Live video is available on our committee website at help.senate.gov, and if anyone is in need of accommodations, including closed captioning, reach out to the committee or the Office of Congressional Accessibility Services. The COVID-19 pandemic upended our economy, and with it, the financial security of people across the country. I have heard from families in Washington State who were forced to raid savings meant for their futures just to make ends meet, savings for their kids' college fund, a down payment on a house, or for their retirement. And that's not even the half of it. Many people across the country have never even had access to a retirement plan and never even been paid enough to make ends meet, let alone save for their future. COVID-19 was exactly the kind of crisis millions of families simply could not afford. That's why we worked in a bipartisan way in the CARES Act to give people more flexibility in managing their retirement resources and making ends meet during this crisis. It's why I worked in the American Rescue Plan to save workers and retirees from having the benefits they rely on slashed, and it's why Ranking Member Burr and I are now working to pull together bipartisan ideas in this space and move a retirement legislative package later this spring. I hope our discussion today will inform and improve these efforts, and our Democratic and Republican colleagues will continue to bring forward ideas over the next few weeks so we can build a good, bipartisan package that helps workers, retirees, and families. Because it is painfully clear we need to do more to strengthen people's emergency savings and retirement security. When it comes to emergencies, financial experts say families with low incomes really need enough emergency savings to get through 6 weeks. Before this pandemic started, almost 2 in 5 Americans would struggle to get $400 in an emergency. We need to give workers and businesses tools that make it easier for families to put money away for a rainy day so that sudden expenses don't upend their lives in ways that undermine their finances for years to come. And when it comes to our retirement system, it's clear retirement plans right now just aren't working for most Americans. When too many workers don't have access to one, when 1 in 9 of those who do have access to a retirement plan do not participate in it, when 1 in 6 don't think their retirement savings will even last a decade, and when people often inadvertently lose retirement benefits when changing jobs. TIAA estimates 30% of Americans left a retirement account at their previous employer. And according to the Government Accountability Office, millions more have left 2 accounts behind, all to the tune of billions of dollars workers earned, saved for their future, and simply aren't able to use. We need to fix that, and I know Senator Warren and Senator Daines have a bipartisan bill to address this issue of lost and found retirement accounts. There are also ideas for how we can better increase participation in employer-sponsored retirement plans through auto re-enrollment, as well as bipartisan ideas for how we can get more people retirement options in the first place by building off steps we took in the SECURE Act to make it easier for small businesses to offer quality retirement plans to their employees and expand which employees are eligible to participate in them. I pressed hard in our work on the bipartisan SECURE Act to make millions of part-time workers eligible for their works retirement plans, and I've continued pressing to make even more people eligible in my Women's Retirement Protection Act. I know Senator Casey and Senator Scott have a bipartisan bill on that as well. Of course, we also need to make sure that when people have retirement plans, they are given the tools they need to make the most of them as well. For example, tools to help people manage spending down their nest egg so they can make retirement resources last for the rest of their lives, and clear and complete information they need to make decisions that will affect their financial security for years to come. Unfortunately, a GAO report I requested found that fee disclosures currently provided by 401k plans simply are not cutting it. Looking at current fee disclosures, 4 in 10 people in a plan incorrectly believed they were not paying any fees. And the stakes are even higher for retirees when they are forced to consider whether to take a lump sum and trade a lifelong pension for a one-time payout. GAO found financial disclosures people were given to consider these huge financial decisions often skipped details, like how the value of the lump sum compared to their existing benefit, or the fact that accepting a lump sum would mean losing federal protections. I've previously introduced legislation to change this. I hope we can get that done soon. Speaking of federal protections, 401ks, by far the most common type of retirement plan, currently are not required to have spousal protections like defined benefit pension plans are required to have. These protections make sure a spouse cannot make decisions with huge financial consequences, like rating a couple's retirement resources without their partner's knowledge and consent. I've called to strengthen these protections before, and last week Senator Byrd joined me in asking GAO to look at how steps like this could help people. When it comes to the issues we are talking about today, it's clear there is a lot of bipartisan interest in enhancing American savings, improving their retirement planning options, and strengthening their financial security. I'm hopeful today's hearing will help me, Senator Burr, and our colleagues on both sides of this aisle to put together a package that builds on the Bipartisan Secure Act we all worked to pass in 2019 and the bipartisan legislation the House has been developing with even more common sense steps to make our retirement systems work better for families in Washington State and across the country. And of course, we all know emergency savings and retirement are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to issues that can undermine people's financial security. There are big challenges throughout our economy, like low wages, pay discrimination, high costs for childcare, health care, burdensome student loan debt, and more. Costs that, like investments, compound over time and set workers back by hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some cases millions, by the time they reach retirement. So in addition to steps to strengthen our retirement system and help families save lives, like we are talking about today, I'm also going to continue pushing to bring down costs, make our economy work for working families. I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter 3 letters into the record from the Insured Retirement Institute, the Spark Institute, and the ERISA Industry Committee. So ordered. With that, I will turn it over to Ranking Member Burr for his opening remarks.